Hello, welcome to a VO's Journey. My name is Anthony, and this show is about helping the new and upcoming voiceover actor grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. It is the 20th of December. Crazy, absolutely blow your mind. I'm looking forward to talking to you today about the power of consistency and being persistent with that consistency. I remember when I first started. It was funny because back in 2018, I was just about a year in my voiceover business. Things were starting to grow slowly, but I was trying to figure out ways, as we do, to market myself, and get more business. And I had listened to podcasts, and I thought, podcasts would be a great way to get myself out there. And then I also thought, oh, well, YouTube would be a great way to get myself out there too. Just start, producing content so people would find me, and offer something that people were interested in. But I remember at the time that I was too nervous to do videos because I thought that YouTube is too full of people and that no one would ever watch me on YouTube. They wouldn't like the way I look. They wouldn't like how I spoke. They wouldn't like my background. At the time too, I had my hobo fort. They wouldn't. Who would listen to me? I had all these things, and I was like, it's too late. 2018, 2019 is too late to start a YouTube channel, right? It'll never work. That was my thought process. And I thought, well, podcasts, maybe I'll start a podcast because I think podcast was going, but it was picking up steam. Clearly people were doing podcasts, but it wasn't, so outlandishly embedded as we are today. However, I thought, well, that's something I could do because podcasting is, a file. And even though I had no idea how to do a podcast or even how they worked, I thought, well, that's just me talking. It's not actually me making videos, people seeing me, right? So I could do that. So anyways, I went ahead and started looking into podcasting and figuring out what to do and realizing some things like, it is just a file. And there are different platforms, programs that then stream that file to a variety of the outlets that we listen to, right? Whether it's iTunes, now Spotify, all the different places, Amazon Prime, all the different places that we listen to stuff, and using these platforms, it's easy to upload, and do this. So, but at the first, understanding a streaming ID, the code, all the stuff I had to learn all that. But anyways. Here's where it's interesting. When I first started, I think, a couple people, my mom, somewhat like one or two people listened to my podcast, and I started making the first couple episodes. And, it's funny because you don't know what to expect, but you always hope, just a lot of people are going to listen to your stuff. Well, no one's going to start. When you first start, no one knows you exist, and no one, rightly so, knows if you're going to be consistent, if you're going to stick around, if you're going to stay, right? If you're going to continue on the journey. Because why do they listen to you? I mean, we respect people, right, who keep going, who don't quit. We do, all right? Because that's what we are trying to accomplish. Anyways. So I start making these podcasts, and they're going okay. I mean, it's so funny. I listen back to especially the first couple episodes of my podcast, VO's Journey podcast, and I sound like, hello, welcome to the podcast, because I was making these at like 2 a.m. in the morning, right? Because that's when I was working between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. in the morning, right? Because then I'd get up at work at 6 p.m. and do that all day. 6 a.m. because I worked a full-time job and the family and everything. So anyways, but slowly I got better at it. But here's the thing. As time went on, I kept producing and I kept making these, right? And I kept making the podcasts, and they grew and they grew and they grew. And you know what? We're at like 267, 68, or 63. I don't know. We're some podcast number now. And, but before that, before where we are now with that, right? I decided I was going to start a YouTube channel because people seem to like the podcast. So I thought, oh, I'll start a YouTube channel as well, just to give it a shot, just to put stuff up, because I was like, well, you're podcasting. I could maybe possibly do some of the things, with both. And so I was like, well, whatever. I'll just try to start a YouTube channel. And I did. And I started a YouTube channel. The first couple of episodes, maybe one or two or three, were in my hobo fort. But of course, I'm an actor, so and I'm also I've been an actor my whole life, but as well as a scene designer, right, and set builder and things. So I was like, well, fine. I took it seriously. I'm gonna make something look nice, behind me and my previous home I was in. So I did, and I started making videos. And now fast forward to the videos, I think we have. I mean, I've made at least over 1,000. I mean, I think long form videos it's like 600 or 700. Short live videos, there's hundreds, and shorts, there's hundreds. So I've made a lot of videos, so 1,000 videos, and I can tell you this. And this is the honest truth, and it's really an interesting fact. Okay, that I want to point out, and what's the point of this whole story, is that I don't consider myself some amazing on-air talent, some amazing performer. I don't think I have anything special. But what I realized is that I started to look around and check this out. And I tell you to do the same. Look around, for example, in a podcast. And I want you to see how many podcasts have over 200, 300 episodes that don't have success. Let that sink in. How many podcasts have hundreds of episodes and are not successful? Same thing with YouTube or videos. How many YouTube channels have hundreds or thousands of videos and don't have some success? Now, some are going to have wildly popular success, and I suppose you could have your own opinion about what success is. But just in the sense of shows growth, grows over time, has picked up steam, okay? You don't find any. So then the logical question you have to ask yourself is, okay, so was it the success that came first that prompted the persistence to be consistent, or was it the consistency and that persistence of doing it over and over again that brought about the success? Chicken or the egg, which one is it? And as I looked around more and more, I feel like I discovered, or I saw, that it was the latter. It was doing something over and over again and being really persistent about it builds success over time, not the other way around. Just like, there's not overnight success, right? When you see someone pop up out of everywhere, you always be, oh, it's overnight success. But I was an overnight success. It took me 10 years to become an overnight success, right? I mean, these stories are everywhere. But I recommend, I implore you, or just challenge you, or, recommend that you go and look at what I'm exactly saying. Right? Go look at podcasts. See if you can find podcasts that have hundreds and hundreds of episodes that aren't successful. Or YouTube channels. All right? And then we can move further down and say, okay, voice actors, like marketing. Is it, if you do, we'll just use the number. You do 2,000 phone calls to businesses. Do you think out of those 2,000 phone calls, you're not going to get any work? Do you think doing one after another, I mean, like, if you have to think, are you only 2,000 phone calls away from being successful? Are you only, and I'm just an arbitrary number, but like, what, you know what I'm saying? But like, the idea I'm trying to say to you is the consistency always wins. The persistence to be consistent always wins. It does. I told myself early on that I didn't think I was going to be some viral sensation. Wasn't going to have millions of followers or subscribers or any of this stuff, and I didn't need it. But I told myself that if I do this long enough and I'm consistent, right, and I'm persistent about it, people will have no choice but to see me because I will not stop. There's power in that decision. There's power in the decision you make to not stop. That's power, because when you do that, whether you believe in, irrefutable laws of the universe or whatever, and we talked about decisions, but when you actually make a decision, I'm going to do this. I have an objective and I'm going to follow through with that objective. It's almost as if the universe helps you accomplish it. People help you accomplish it. You ever see those people that you say to yourself, oh yeah, they're going to make it. Oh, they're going to do a good job. Why do you say that? What draws you to say that about someone, that you can tell when you see someone and you get to know them just briefly that they're going to be successful, right? What is it about them? Oftentimes it's not seeing their talent. I mean, there's loads of people who are talented and who are geniuses who are not much, right? Same with people who are highly educated. Same with people who, have everything handed to them. But we can see people briefly and we can say, oh yeah, I just have this feeling that they're going to make it. Why? I would venture to say, because when we see those people, we see through the way they speak, even the beginning of their actions, that they have made a decision. Full stop. They've burned the boats. You see this. It's evident with some people that they are going to succeed or die. And when we see people like that, even briefly, we're like, we get it, right? We understand. We're like, yeah, but they're going to make it. They're going to be successful because they have no choice but to be successful. It's interesting, the idea of choice, right? This idea that we have choice, and it's so funny because when I was first starting out, especially even before that, and I was reading lots of books and listening to a lot of audiobooks about self-improvement and, the choices we make. Is being successful really just a choice? Many of us would be like, well, of course I want to be successful. I've chosen to be successful. Really, though? Is it just a choice? And if it is a choice, why don't more of us make that choice? How do we even make that choice? It's interesting, right? Because if you start to think about it, you're like, wait a minute, how do I make a choice to be successful? Right? And again, so it goes back to, how do we just look at some people and think, but they're going to be successful? Because the choice they've made is so evident through their actions, through the way they speak, through their entire being, that they're putting out into the world that they've made a choice to be successful. They have no other path but forward success. And it's just, to me, that realization, going back to the podcast and the podcast, of seeing people, you never see podcasts, we're just using podcasts here, where people have hundreds and hundreds of episodes that don't have some sort of success. So again, if that's the case, is it really the goal of success? Is it the realization of success? Or is it the consistency of the objective to continue producing, continue marketing, continue to moving forward that causes the success? Success is a byproduct, not the destination. The destination is the consistency, all right, of the objective to be taking action on a regular basis. So it's such an interesting little mind shift, but what a difference it makes. I hope I haven't Then like you turned it off a while ago and be like, gosh, that man just doesn't shut up. Hopefully though this is giving you some fuel. We're coming up. We're almost done with 2023. 2024 is going to be one hell of a year, and we are going to really have to look at how we can be persistent with our consistent actions. That will determine our success, which will be a byproduct of those actions. All right? So instead of us just looking at what is the final goal we want to accomplish, what are the objectives, right? The actions that we have that we can take, that's what we challenge ourselves to do. Because the money, success, all of that, again, is a byproduct of right action. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully you're almost set for Christmas and you have everything. I wish you happy holidays. And please hit that like and subscribe button if you did like the video. And as always, check out Avio's Journey Elite Academy, because the point to the Academy is to help you be consistent, is to help you learn what you need to learn and apply that. The application of it over time is what makes you successful in voiceover or anything. Okay? You have a wonderful day. We'll call it there. Have a good one. Bye-bye.